Good morning. I'm Lisa Maxwell. It's Sunday, March 22nd. We'll continue working with Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Kranz. The reading for today. May you always be on the inner quest. Strong theme. Oops. That's my paper. That's all right. I'm bringing on it. Yeah, what are the things that we're leaning on that are crutches that we don't actually even need? I think that's what came up in yesterday's reading. That's what came up for me. What are the ways that we um, perpetuate situations that aren't good and allow bad behavior to go unchecked? And how do we address that? More importantly, like how do we address that in a way that's compassionate to to the individuality and the uniqueness of other people, and with respect to their journey, and with respect to like we want to be free, right? We want to be free to figure our way out. But where do we trespass? Right? Where do we trespass out of our own, yeah, needs that maybe aren't even who we are? Like I really kind of this is pattern. The pattern on the backs of these cards is like a snake skin. Last year in the Chinese zodiac for the Lunar New Year was the year of the snake. We have shed a skin. There's no reason to put that skin back on. There's an interesting mythology about, I think it's Polynesian or Inuit mythology. I can't remember which, but it talks about a woman who was immortal. And every year she would shed her skin and off she goes. Well, she had a child at one point, and so this woman did her, annual leaving of the skin. She went down to the water, did her ritual, left her skin, and but in this instance, the skin actually, instead of getting, thrown into the river and let it go, got hooked up on a branch. And the woman kind of notices it, but she didn't make as much of it. But then she goes back home, and the child um, is upset because now there's this new, fresh being in front of her, in front of the child. I don't know what gender the child was. And the child was so distraught that the woman went down and got the old skin and put it on. Interesting, right? How do we do that in order to preserve the status quo that we've outgrown? Instead of, kind of being with the discomfort, working with the situation, um, and continuing to be who we are beyond what's no longer who we are. It's not comfortable to go through those situations. It's hard flipping, yeah, King of Swords, but we have to be, sometimes we have to just be, yes, this is what we're doing, and this is how I'm going forward, and appreciate your, a Father of Swords is one who is course correcting for sure. He's not allowing any of the any this is where we're going. It's a very decisive individual. Owls are very wise, and I love how in this deck it is a Father of Swords, not a king, not somebody who maybe would be easily perceived as misusing or being overbearing with decisions. In the bottom of the deck yesterday, I don't know whether I spoke to it. Excuse me. I noticed that there was an Ace of Swords, but now at the bottom of the deck in terms of the energy that was underpinning things or on offer, maybe behind the scenes. Now we have an individual who has made a very clear decision. It's time to cut the bullshit. and you're collaborating, you're doing it in a collaborative fashion. You've taken in the information and now you're making a decision. As I said yesterday, decisions that we're making now are divinely sanctioned, and whatever you do, you've done, and you should just go forward and build upon it. We don't look behind, as I often say, or as I've often been heard to say, and I don't know where I got it. I didn't coin this one. You can't drive forward when you're looking in the rearview mirror. It's time to move forward and just, clean the slate and let bygones be bygones, and know that what is being built around you is absolutely being built for you, and it's for your good and it's for the good of others. This is a very decisive individual. In the reverse, he would be selfish and be not taking in other people's information, but this is an owl, and uh, yes, he's very a predatory animal, but it's this is an animal that will that is still choosy and knows what he can pick up and what he can't. He's not going to pick up something that isn't for him or his family. And again, it's a father. It's a father. Ooh, what else do we have? He makes good alliances. He's going to collaborate with other people. And we have the Daughter of Wands as a second card coming up. The Daughter of Wands is Page of Wands in the traditional tarot. So she's um, coming in with information. She's young, but I see these beautiful, oh, they don't, they're kind of like roses. She's also a snake, though. I noticed that this is also a snake. So whatever skin that has been shed, let the Four of Cups came up in yesterday's reading, and there was like definitely some like emotion, like there's something emotionally unfulfilling here that I don't like, with that rat over it. That's invoking fear. It's time to shed the skin and to really, but maybe also understand the skin. This is a card of messages coming in. A page is a messenger. In this case, it is shown as a daughter, so there's a feminine aspect to it. A message about like how, what actionable steps we can come forward with, but it's a daughter. It's something it's just taking in the information, but be in a very receptive way, in a teachable way, in a creative way, very creative. Be the way you take in information, as a curious child. Again, this is also a daughter, clearly a child. Well, could be actually an older daughter, right? I'm actually thinking of that, but from a feminine perspective. So, again, very receptive, taking, offering the message in a very receptive way. Like, in an open-handed way. I keep kind of doing this gesture, right? In an open-handed, like listening as well as as delivering messages, both. I don't know what that flower is. Some kind of wildflower. I brought the wildflower deck over. We'll pull one from that as well. The flowers have something to tell us. And then here's actually one sticking out here too. So, okay, wonderful. So we have the Four of Wands here and a diamond. So this is also like marriage. This is alliances. This is, creating something that has the strength of diamonds. This is on the day-to-day basis. This is energy coming in. And yes, strength card came up with this. You have the strength. It's taking that one rose. So it's taking some of these flowers, so a much more mature version. So coming forward as a lion, but with, like I said, whatever you're building, whatever is being built, it's going to take like what is it, a hand of steel, but in a velvet glove. This is something that's being, you know, I see the infinity symbol, the sun. This is the soul purpose calling. It requires your strength. It requires you to come forward in a strong and gentle manner in order for this to be, to come forward, for this diamond. There are many facets to a diamond, so that, you know, it takes strength to kind of, and agility to grow something. So let's actually let's pull something from the Wildflower deck. This is How to Be a Wildflower. 78 symbols from nature to guide and inspire you by Katie Daisy. Cute, right? Ooh, I'll take one from here. You know, we see the roses are here. Sign of Mother Mary, strongest person ever. Strongest person ever. Who says yes to God's spirit, to birth, to be the receptacle, to build a, yeah, to be the receptacle, to receive the messages in order to, and this, you know, to build something, to birth a consciousness that changed the world. And then to walk by that person who you birthed, walk with him toward his death. Who has the strength for that? She was, and she didn't stand in the limelight. She didn't need to be in any particular role. She just opened herself up. There's an opening here. How we take it is the key. How, what is the approach? Wise, truthful. This is part of truth. Part of truth. Not being afraid to speak the truth. Swords are communication. What is the truth? Keep standing by the truth no matter what. Ooh, put that back in my hand. Pull a card from How to Be a Wildflower. Here we the bluebird. And I was also getting a lot of with the owl being a nocturnal animal. A lot of this decisive stuff might be resting. This person is not always just up in his head. He's resting. You are free to fly. Bluebirds, sleep under the stars. Be yourself. Be your bright, beautiful self in all of this. It takes strength to do that. It takes strength to leave the old behind, the old ways of doing things, this card came up first, so it's the old ways that we maybe were decisive is changing. Receive the messages, know that we have to, yeah, be yourself through the whole process, but also be very conscious. Take your breaks, take your rest. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, plant so that your heart will grow. That was at the bottom of the deck. And actually, this one was the one that came up on top. I probably should have just gone with that one. Plant so that your heart will grow. Go with the things that are truthful, that you truly plant well. You know, but in planting, there's also a receptive energy. But align and, you know, continue to only ask to continue to go for the things that are going to be the kind of soil and garden so that your own heart will grow. Because when our own heart grows, we're of better service to the world. Mother Mary did that. Be fierce, be gentle. I don't know. Just they're just what's coming up. I love you. If you have questions about this reading, please post them in the comments. If you want your own reading, direct message me on any of the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Pass this message to anybody who you feel needs it. Take what you like, leave the rest. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps the messages get out to those who need it. It's been my pleasure being here for you. I look forward to doing more together. Love you.